Okay. All right, Sadie. So here, I'm gonna turn up the volume. Honey?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What time is it now?
302.
3:02, and you were in an accident about sometime around between 8:30 and 9 p.m. yesterday.
No, like 9:15. I leave for work at 9 usually, so I probably got there about 9:15,
T-
9:30.
Today, right now it's 3:02 a.m. and today's date is the what is today? The 22nd.
Oh,
The 22nd of February. Yeah, you're having trouble, huh? Okay,
yeah.
today is Monday, the 22nd of February, and you were in an accident just 6 hours ago. Uh, right after 9 p.m. So 6 hours ago, you were in an accident. And go ahead, honey. Explain to me what happened. What happened, honey?
Um, well, I was passing the area near Ventra. I don't even know what that road is, and there's like a little curb, like, and I remember I felt like I was sliding, I guess, on ice. And so as I was coming down the hill, I was driving, however the car was taking me, trying to follow the direction of the car taking me. So I was hitting my horn to like notify. I only seen one car kind of far out. It wasn't nowhere close to me. I don't know how many feet away it was, but it was really far out. He was far out. And so I was hitting my horn up until I probably hit my horn up until we collided. And then I don't remember anything until a lady was knocking on my window. She was asking, was anybody in there? And because I guess she couldn't see me. And then she knocked again, and then I spoke to her. And then she asked me, was I okay? And I told her, yeah. And then she asked me, did I want the ambulance? I told her, still trying to figure out what's going on. And then she told me that I was in a ditch in her neighbor's yard, but that she lived in the other house, and that I was on top of a mailbox. And she asked me which direction was I going. I said I was going, I don't know, I guess I was going north, but my car was pointed towards south. But yeah, I didn't remember none of that other part, but that's just what she told me.
Okay,
she told so you
at the time when she asked you, you weren't sure what was what. I mean, so you were on your way to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on my way to Whirlpool, which is like 20 minutes.
And was it
from Sandusky.
And was there a lot of traffic?
No, it was no traffic.
No traffic.
It was no traffic. And the lady, when the police officer asked the lady who spoke to me and called the 911, he asked her, did she see it? They said no. Everybody said no, they didn't see it. She said she just heard it. I guess she heard me hit the mailbox, so she came outside and see me.
So this you saw that there was a vehicle, but when you noticed the other vehicle in front of you and you were having trouble with the roads, how far away do you think? I mean, it's hard. I know to think about that in distance, but how far away would you think it was, like time wise or distance? Can you go back to that, or is it not something you can do right now?
Okay, I'm not really good with like that, but if I had to say maybe from your street to your couch in the house.
Oh.
So it was a lot of distance.
Okay.
I was honking that horn that whole time.
Okay. So
to the end of your street, I don't even know how many feet that is. That was a lot.
Yeah. So there wasn't. You couldn't see It was so far away when you first started hitting the horn, you couldn't see the person in the car to see
I
their.
just seen their lights
You could
because
see.
it's dark out. I just seen their lights.
Okay. Okay, that's another thing.
So I didn't know if they were going to end up sliding too. So I was just like giving them forewarning, like, hey, this area might be a little icy or, you know,
Okay.
whatever. I didn't know, you know, maybe they want to not move, sit still. I don't know what I expected them to do. I don't know. So that's the only thing I could think to do in the moment.
And you had that you were trying to get their attention. Hey, I'm in trouble. You know, either you were trying to get them to either stop their vehicle or get out of the way because the roads were where you were not able to control the vehicle there, evidently.
And I got brand new tires, so it's not that my car is in bad condition. My car's in good condition. I've got a full inspection on my car. From the time I got my car, I got a full inspection on the vehicle, and I spent over $5,000 fixing things that was wrong with my car. My car's in perfect condition, so it was not my car.
Yes. Brand new tires.
It was not my car at all. And then when the officer came over to the car, he was telling the other officer that the man said, that's where I got that from. He said when he spoke to them and asked him what happened, he said that I'm going to say exactly what he said. He said, I was hauling ass around that bend, and he said that I fishtailed, and he had no other choice but to hit me.
That's what he told them.
But he didn't say nothing about me hunking. He didn't say nothing about how I ended up spinning around, going to the other thing, landing on it. He didn't say nothing about that.
So
they didn't even realize that I was on the other side of the street. I had to tell the guy. He said, well, where are you coming from? I said, Sandusky. He said, where in Sandusky? I told him, I was like, I can't remember what street.
Okay.
What street is this? I can't remember what street that my cousin lived on. But I told him the street, and then he said, so in Sandusky? I said, yeah. He said, where you headed? I said, Whirlpool in Clyde. He said, oh, so you was headed the other direction. I said, yeah.
So they talked to him before they talked to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They went to him first.
Okay, they went to him.
And everybody kept repeating what he was saying. And I'm like, why do y'all keep repeating what he's saying? I still haven't given him a statement.
Okay. So that's okay. And that's, so again, if you can say, if there's anything else you can remember about their questioning, how they questioned you. And
then the one officer asked the other officer, he said, do you want to take this one? I've been dealing with these all day. And he said, no, you got it. And then when I get in the EMT, she said, so you were rushing to work? And I said, no, I wasn't rushing to work. I said, I don't have to go to work no time soon. So it's not even time for me to go to work yet. She said, oh, so you weren't rushing? I said, no. I said, I leave in enough time to be able to take my time to go to work. And she was like, oh, I never leave out in a lot of time. I said, yeah, well, I'm responsible. Because I do. I leave in enough time. I go to the gas station. I get me an energy drink. I get me whatever snacks I want. And then I go to work and I clock in. We allowed to clock in 30 minutes early. When I clock in, I wait.
Okay.
And then, so I was not rushing at all. And I already knew the conditions because my granddad's wife had already told me that it was a level 1 earlier. So I'm not going to be rushing. And mind you, this car is all I have. I'm not about to put myself at risk.
You weren't. If the speed limit was 50 or was 45.
Well, the lady corrected. She corrected when I challenged the doctor. I was like, "Where did you get that from?" And he was like, "Was that not where she was going?" And then the EMT was like, "No, she wasn't. I was going to speed limit." So I was like, "Thank you. Yeah, let's not repeat that." And don't put that in any reports because that's inaccurate.
And I'm sorry, how again did they get that number?
I don't know where he got that from.
So that just arbitrarily or however, just what? Just came into his...
It wasn't on that paper that I seen though, but I was just like, I'm telling him, you better make sure that you didn't... Oh, I forgot to get a paper Are they supposed to give me a paper of like
You didn't get
what
any. You didn't get
what
anything.
they observed,
Right. You
or
didn't
what
get. You didn't
what
get
was the
anything from.
result?
Well, I don't know. Sadie's. I don't know. I mean, maybe they did give you some paperwork. Are you sure they didn't give you anything?
Well, he gave me the paper to show what they sent over to CVS, and he gave me a paper for work for a couple days.
Okay.
And he gave me a paper to say like whiplash and stuff like that, but I didn't see no paper that said
describing what happened or whatever the report. But
yeah.
but you.
I don't know. Maybe they don't do it. I don't know.
I mean, okay. Was there anything when you realized that you were having trouble with the roads? When you started you saw the car, you could see the headlights, and you realized, shit, what? I don't want to hit this guy, like, or was it what? Oh, I want to warn them. What was the kind of thought? What went through your?
I was like, I don't want to hit this car, and I don't want this car hitting me.
Okay.
So
okay.
I was literally like, okay. So I need to make sure that I notified him. So I just laid on the horn the whole time. Yeah. And like I said, I don't remember taking my hand off. So I must have took my hand off when he hit collided.
Right. Collided. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the only thing that was damaged on my car was somehow the back of my car. Ain't that crazy?
I wonder what the heck, what's the back of your car?
They thought he was behind me, and I'm like, no, he wasn't behind me. He was.
Is it possible? Is it possible that you spun around and he did hit you from the back?
I don't know. That's what I told the officers. I'm like, I don't know. They kept saying, "Did you hit your head?" I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I didn't. Like I said, I didn't tell them about me sliding part. I just said I just remember, but I did tell them I was hitting my horn.
Is it?
So I was like, I don't remember what happened in the beginning. I just remember that I was just laid on my horn.
I was
trying to warn the person, but I didn't say why I was doing it. I just said I was hit.
The damage to your vehicle, it wasn't in the front head on. It was in the back.
Nope, it was in the back.
So you must have tried to get. You probably did. You turned your wheel to get the hell out to try to avoid the accident, and he hit you in the rear end. That's obvious. That's what happened.
Well, he said he had to because I was fishtailing. Whatever that means.
it's if he hit you in the rear end, that's what happened. You lost that as you were having trouble putting things together because you got hit so hard. You tried to avoid the accident, and that's what happened. That's why he hit you in the rear end, because your car spun around. Honey,
they said that's the only, my cousin, well, like I said, I didn't see the car, but my cousin took pictures for me, and she said literally it's no damage on the front, it's no damage on the side, it's literally just my bumper part. She said it's like, it's off.
Okay.
It's pretty much like off.
Okay, so that's, look, honey, that's probably what happened.
And his is in the front, like near his driver tire, is what the officer told me.
That's
or was describing that I overheard, should I say.
When you got to the hospital, what was that like?
It was rude.
How so? How so, honey?
Like I said, first of all, he introduced the conversation as in, so you were driving a 60. He didn't say, hey, how you doing? Or, are you okay? Are you hurting anywhere? What's your pain level? Professionally, the first thing he said was, so you was driving 60 miles an hour? I was like, no. Where did you get that from? Yes. That was my first response. I'm like, is that how you introduce yourself to a patient? You didn't tell me your name or nothing. Then he started like just manhandling me, just touching everywhere, like that's hurt. So, and then he's calling out the different places that he's touching that I'm saying no to the whoever the girl was, the nurse who was putting it in the system. And then I asked him, I said, can you slow down a minute because you're going so fast and I can't keep up with everything you're saying. I was like, you're asking me about certain stuff and I can't remember. I said, did you ask me about my shoulder? He said, I didn't get there yet. And I said, that's why I'm asking, can you slow down? Because I don't know what you're saying. Because he said, I said my neck didn't hurt. I said, I didn't say that. He said, yes, you did. And I said,
No.
well, maybe because you're going too fast. Can you slow down?
And I want you.
He said, I have to do a head to toe assessment really fast. This was he said, I can't remember exactly how he worded it.
Did you think to, like, because Tasha, I would think she'd be the one that you would call first.
And that's what I did. So he got mad at me.
No,
he told me he needed to do his job. And then, so I reached over, grabbed my phone, and called my mom.
And tell me, wait a second. You told me earlier, this is why we're recording this. You mentioned that when you went to call Tasha, you couldn't remember her name.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. Well, I was in the car after it first happened.
Okay, but when you were in the hospital,
by the time I got to the hospital, I was a little bit.
Okay, but yeah. That was okay. You were wanting to call Tasha right after the accident. When initially before you went to the hospital, you wanted to let her know what happened, and you couldn't remember her name. I
couldn't remember because my mom's name in my phone is Latasha Prophet, but then afterwards it has her title, like Mom.
Okay.
Because, like, if you speak to Siri, it'll pick up if you say call Mom. So I always put it in there like that, but I couldn't think of her first name. I was like, what? Oh my God, what is my mom's name? You weren't able to literally put Mom in for her to pop up.
That's what you couldn't remember what your mom's name was, as you're saying that you to try to do that right after the accident, you couldn't put that together. Okay. When you were in a hospital and they were examining you, you wanted to call your mother then. You thought again to call your mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened then? Okay, was this during the examination? You were like, I want to call my mom?
Yeah, because like I said, they were being real rude. And so the doctor got mad. He left because I told him, well, you keep telling me that I'm not saying about because he gave a final recall to the lady, like, okay, so the only thing we need to get checked out is her, I think he said, my head and my ear. And I said, no. I said, I told you my shoulder and my neck. And he said, you're going to say that? And I said, yes, I did. He said, I asked you that. I said, well, you're going so fast. Can you slow down? And then he was like, well, I need to do my job. And I said, but I can't. Do you not realize what just happened? I said, you're going too fast for me. He said, this is a trauma. Something about this is trauma, and I have to go through your airwaves and do all this. I said, I understand that. I said, but I'm asking you, can you slow down?
Right.
And then then the lady was asking me questions, and I'm like, they tag teaming me. So he got mad and left. So then she's asking me stuff, and I didn't say nothing to her.
Okay.
Because I'm literally not sure she's talking to me. And then she said, hello. And then I said, oh, you talking to me? And she said, you're the only one here we're asking questions to. And I said, you know what? You hold on. I said, and then I cursed. I can't remember exactly what I said.
I understand, honey. I understand. You felt like they were double teaming you. Like, what is going on here? It's like I understand.
That lady? I think I told her. I can't remember what cuss word I said to her, but I said something about.
So they might have been. You felt like they were giving the impression that that everything was your fault. Like you were. Like, did you feel like?
Yeah, they were trying to help build a case instead of just trying to figure out what's going on with me.
And
so I called my mom, but when I hit the button, it did the video thing. And she's like, you're not allowed to be recording in here. I said, I'm not recording you.
Oh, man.
And so my mom answered, and I said, I don't know if my mom heard that part, but I said, let me call you back audio because she thinks I'm trying to record her. So then she was like, you can't do that. So then she stormed out the room. She brought back her charge nurse. By this time, my mom was still on the phone. And so she was like, the charge nurse was like, so I'm hearing that you're refusing care. You don't want care. You're being rude and disrespectful. I said, me? She said, yeah. I said, how am I being rude and disrespectful? I said, no. I said, the doctor was rude. He came in here talking about I was driving 60 miles an hour, and that's false. I said, so what I did was I corrected him because I don't want him putting on his paperwork. This is when I started, like, speaking a lot because before then I was kind of, like, trying to catch everything.
Okay.
Then I said, and then the nurse, I said, she's over here being disrespectful because I didn't notice that she was talking to me. I said, so she's over here telling me that I can't talk to my mom when, mind you, my brain is going so fast that I'm trying to think about what y'all are saying, and she's mad because I don't know what she's saying. I said, so yes, I did call my mom. And she's like, well, we don't really need you to call. I said, my mom was on the phone. My mom was like, I'm here. She's like, well, why can't she? She's like, well, then let her cousin come back there. She's like, oh, no, we need to finish our assessment before anyone comes back. She's like, well, I don't really feel comfortable with her being there if she's telling you that she don't really know what's going on, you know.
Right.
Just allow somebody to be there. She's allowed to have somebody there with her.
I'm
So
sure.
then,
Go ahead.
so the nurse is still getting smart. She's like, yeah, well, you were being real. I said, no, I wasn't. I said, no. I said, the tone. So then she repeats back what she said. I was only trying to tell you. I said, yeah, but the tone that you're using in front of your boss is not the tone that you were using when your boss wasn't here. She goes, that's not my boss. That's my supervisor. I said, supervisor, manager, same thing.
Right. The cops were. I'm curious. Did they give you any thing for pain or any medication? Had you spoken to the police yet? What happened with that? Like, did cops?
Okay, so then she leaves out. So the charge nurse tells me, so do you want medicine or not? And she said, do you want treatment or not? First she said, do you want treatment or not? I said, yes. I said, but again, I don't feel comfortable with them being rude and disrespectful. I said, are you going to stay here? And she said, yes. I said, okay, well then that's fine. And so she said, she was asking me, can I hang out with my mom? And I said, yeah, I can. My mom said, are you sure? I said, yeah, that's fine. And so, I think my mom was on the phone for another second. And then she said, okay, well, we're going to give you some pain medication. She told me what she was going to give me. And then the police officer walked in. And then he said he had a paper. He was helping the other guy out. He just wanted to give me that citation. And I was like, a citation for what? And I said, he said, are you ready to give a statement? I said, no. And because, the lady gave me medicine first. See, my brain is all over the place. She gave me medicine right before he got there. And I'm like, she just gave me morphine and tramadol.
Okay.
I said, I'm not about to give you no statement when I'm under medication.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, and you don't have to because they should have done that before they asked me for a statement.
Before. They should have done that before.
Why are you asking me to give you a statement and I'm under the influence now?
Right.
And then they kept asking me, do you do drugs or alcohol? I said, I don't drink anything. I don't smoke anything. Like, I don't indulge in any of that.
Okay.
Not any of it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, well, will you give us a urine sample? Absolutely.
So they went ahead and they I'm sure they did everything they needed to do to screen you for whatever the hell you.
Yeah, but again, I don't do any drug. I don't drink at all now. I don't even drink a little bit.
I've never known.
Drink anything.
I've never known you to drink. Let me ask you, honey, the statement that the police officers wanted from you when you told them, they did that you were just given morphine and tramadol. What did he say?
He was like, okay, well, I guess you can call somebody smart tomorrow and give them a statement. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
He gave
me.
Go ahead.
He gave me some, I guess the paper and
citation.
He said that, he said he gave me a citation and he said that it was noted on there that I was. Let me look at the paper.
Okay.
About me not controlling the vehicle or something. I'm gonna read it to you. I was like, controlling the vehicle? I wasn't controlling the vehicle. I mean, to the best of my ability.
Yes. Well, it sounds to me like you tried to avoid, an
they
accident.
didn't have no assault out there, so if that's the case,
if you would have just let the vehicle go and collide into that oncoming, because you couldn't avoid. You tried to turn. That's why he hit you in the rear end, honey, because you didn't realize it. But that is what happened. Your car wouldn't have gotten turned around unless you were trying to avoid the accident. So that's what
it said. It says under the note. It says failure to control. That's what they cited me. Failure to control.
Well, you tried to get things under control, honey. You were trying to avoid the accident. That's why he hit you in the rear end. That's why it happened. You laid on the horn from the time you saw him. You were trying to get his attention so he would know maybe he would stop and not keep coming. You you were quickened. Hey, I could hit this guy, and you were trying to avoid an accident. So that's what I get from it, and I think anybody that just hears what happened. Now the roads were what, like slushy, icy, snow covered. What were they like, honey?
Well, depending on where you were driving, but where I was driving, at the place of the accident, it was like a little slushy.
Slushy.
I wish I would have thought to take pictures of that.
Okay.
But it was like a little slushy, but I definitely hit an ice patch or something because it was sending me.
So he might have seen you partially fishtailing because you were because of the conditions. He could have seen that, but him saying that he had to hit you because you were fishtailing doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But
I told you, he said that I was hauling ass around that thing, and I'm like, no, I wasn't.
Yeah,
because it has to be some kind of cameras to show like I was not. I don't drive like that. I haven't had a speeding. I used to when I was younger get them. I don't drive like that. And it's nighttime. Why am I speeding around a curb that have a blind spot like that? That's crazy. That don't even make sense.
In truth, you had plenty of time to get to work.
Yes.
Okay. You weren't in any hurry to get to work. Everything's fine.
No.
You're on time. You left, so you'd have plenty of time.
Plenty of time. I get to work more than 20 minutes early, more than 30 minutes early.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay, honey. Okay.
And I've been at that job since November. So I know. And that's what they kept asking me, like, are you familiar with it? I'm like, I drive this every day. I drive this same route every day. I'm familiar with this curve, curve, everything. And I've driven it on a level 3. Okay. Because my job made us come.
A level 3 compared to what that was a level 1 you were mentioning earlier.
It was slushy. It wasn't even bad yet.
Okay. I understand. So you have driven and not lost control of your vehicle when it was a lot worse than that. Just something happened. I've had that happen to me, honey, where I'll lose control and it happens. It's happened on roads that I didn't even think were that bad. Like that's it can happen. It's just what there's nothing you could do, to know. You don't know, when I lived in Oklahoma, when I was in the Air Force, they called it black ice. I don't know what it is here, but there are conditions. There are conditions you can't really tell, so there's nothing that, you couldn't see. I mean, you couldn't tell. So I'm curious. I know right now it's 3:30 a.m. You were in this accident six and a half hours ago. And, when I came out, I woke up and I came out and I was in front of my phone and you were messaging me. And I saw that Mercedes. And then I went ahead and called you and we have talked, but your mother, you told me before that your mother's a registered nurse, right?
Yeah.
And she had told you that you should go because now you're experiencing, you've lost hearing in your left ear, you told me. And I just, and you said you had a headache when I first, so I don't know, you're still amped up from this, and they gave you a lot of medication. They did give you mentioned morphine and tramadol, so you must have taken.
And Flexeril before I left.
Maybe she recommended you go to get seen in another hospital. Maybe you should do that. I'm hoping that you're going to go ahead and, are you going to try to do that, sweetie, please?
Yeah, I'm going to call my cousin.
Okay, because if you're still this amped up and they gave you all those meds, you're probably not going to be.
He told me tomorrow I'm gonna feel it.
Well, you want to go ahead and that would be another. That might be another reason why when you get up, you're not going to feel like doing anything. So go ahead and go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and end this recording. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think I said everything I remember.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything that you had mentioned that maybe you had.
No, because I said everything.
The blood. You said you thought that you had blacked out. When the collision happened, when he hit you in the rear end, you thought that you had blacked out.
Yeah, like I kept telling them, all I can do is assume, but I definitely know that I don't remember spinning out. I don't remember being on top of a mailbox. Everybody else confirmed it for me, so I had to, but I don't remember hitting my head. I don't remember spinning around. I just remember hitting my horn. That's the last thing I remember hitting.
Well,
sliding down and hitting my horn, that's it.
Them coming to the conclusion, well, they did talk to him first before they talked to you, so they were influenced by whatever he said.
Yeah, because the officer said that made sense, because he was like, I was fishtailing down, speeding around that bend, and he ended up hitting, but he said he hit me. That's why I'm confused. I want to see his actual statement, because the man
Go ahead.
repeated it.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, if you got your body cam on, he definitely admitted fault. He definitely said he hit me.
Right.
So I don't even know why you saying anything about me when he admitted that he hit me. It doesn't matter what. You're still responsible if you hit somebody.
So you don't know if
that's at least what I've always been told.
You don't know if he said anything about him hearing you with laying on the horn.
No, he didn't. They didn't. At least they didn't. I never talked to the guy directly. He never came to.
Okay, right.
We were so far apart. He never came to check on me, and I didn't get out of the car until the ambulance got there.
Yes, honey, I understand. From the time that you realized I could be in trouble here, you saw them. That's all there was on the road was just you and him. That's all the only vehicles that you saw, and you started laying on your horn because you knew you were in trouble because of the roads.
Yep.
You laid on that horn until whatever he hit you is what I'm guessing. That must have been that you laid on the horn the whole time to get his attention, and so you were thinking. Of course. Can you tell me what you were thinking again when you started laying on the horn to get his attention? What were you thinking?
I was thinking. I didn't know what the roads was like back there, so I didn't know if I was just trying to get his attention, so, maybe he could stop so that, I have room to keep going near him, or, swerving away from him, or that he knows so that he can swerve in front of me, or so he can also help the situation.
Okay.
That's what I was hoping.
Okay, honey. Okay.
All right. I wasn't thinking he was going to be coming towards me.
Okay.
For sure.
Well.
Because like I said, it was only he and I on the road. And if I'm swerving and you're not, and since they said I'm not in control of my vehicle, and clearly that makes you in control of your vehicle, how did you end up into me?
Right, honey. Right. I understand entirely. And
I can see if you would have parked and I would have just,
Look, I have to say, everything. I felt like it was led of the Spirit, when I came out here and I saw your message in Jesus' name, that Jehovah God Yahweh had led this so that this could happen. We could talk and we could get a recording, because it's not going to be, there might be something that you'll leave out when you're talking to whoever it is you need to talk to, and I do think we're gonna have to talk to somebody, but. Hallelujah.
Oh, and I think I told you that that one officer asked the other officer if he wanted to take this case thing, and I told my mom that, and my mom was like, well, maybe it's two different jurisdictions, but I don't think that it was, because my cousin them said that was all still Sandusky, so they just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't like the idea that they released you, that they didn't keep you overnight to observe you. I don't know. It's just I love you. I don't care about you. I can't help. But your mother, she's a registered nurse, and she thought that they should have kept you for observation as well, right?
She just wanted them scans and stuff done. She's like, and nobody trusts Firelands, so she wasn't even happy with me being forced to go there, but they told me I had to go to Firelands because they're legally obligated to go to the nearest one, and that was the nearest one.
Okay.
The nearest hospital. So,
if you can, please honey, please go ahead and make the arrangements to go to.
I am. I'm gonna call her.
Okay.
She should be getting ready to
I'm going to go
get
ahead.
up to do what she needs to do.
I'm going to go ahead and end this recording. So it's 3:36 a.m. now. It's the 22nd of February, 2026. I'm going to go ahead and end this now, honey.